The winter sun was just beginning to set on December 19th, 1959, in the quiet town of Osprey, Florida. Christmas was just around the corner, and the Walker family, Clifford, his wife Christine, and their two young children, 3-year-old Jimmy and 1-year-old Debbie, were preparing for the holiday season. Clifford was a ranch hand, hard-working and well-liked. Christine was a dedicated mother, known for her warm smile. By all appearances, they were an ordinary family living an ordinary life. But what happened that evening would shatter the peace of their small community and leave behind one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in Florida's history. When neighbors hadn't seen the Walkers for a day or so, concern began to grow. On the morning of December 20th, one of Clifford's co-workers went to check on them. As he stepped onto the family's property, an unsettling silence hung in the air. What he discovered inside their modest home would forever scar him and the community. The Walkers were all dead. Clifford had been shot, as had Christine and the children. Christine had also been sexually assaulted. The crime was brutal, personal, and horrifyingly cold-blooded. Whoever had entered their home had not only destroyed 4 innocent lives, but had done so in a way that seemed filled with rage and cruelty. Investigators quickly descended on the scene. The Walker home was torn apart in search of clues, fingerprints, bullet casings, any sign of forced entry. But the evidence was puzzling. A bloody boot print was found, along with signs that Christine may have resisted her attacker. Her clothing was torn, and her body told a story of violence and terror. The children had been silenced without mercy. Yet despite the brutality, the killer, or killers, had left few concrete leads. Detectives initially turned their attention to those close to the family. Was this a robbery gone wrong? Or perhaps something more personal, a jealous lover, an angry neighbor, someone harboring a grudge? Clifford and Christine were said to be a happy couple, but small-town life often hides secrets. Police interrogated acquaintances, co-workers, even strangers passing through town, but the trail grew cold almost immediately. As the months passed, investigators looked beyond Osprey. They began to connect the Walkers' murders to another notorious case that had shocked America just months earlier: the brutal slaying of the Clutter family in Holcomb, Kansas, a crime made infamous by Truman Capotes in cold blood. 2 men, Richard Hickok and Perry Smith, were arrested and later executed for the Clutter murders. But before their deaths, whispers began to circulate. Could they have also been responsible for the Walker murders? The similarities were striking. Both families lived in rural homes. Both were slaughtered with shocking brutality. And in both cases, young children were mercilessly killed. During their investigation, detectives discovered that Hickok and Smith had traveled through Florida after the Clutter killings. In fact, they were known to have stolen a car and driven down to the state around the time the Walkers were murdered. When confronted, Hickok and Smith denied involvement, but suspicions remained strong. Years later, in the early 2000s, investigators attempted to test DNA evidence collected from Christine Walker's clothing against samples taken from Hickok and Smith. It seemed like the mystery might finally be solved. Yet when the results came back, they were inconclusive, too degraded, too old to definitively match. The link between the Clutter killers and the Walkers remained speculative, tantalizing but unproven. Other theories emerged over time. Some suggested that Christine may have known her killer, pointing to the absence of forced entry. Others speculated it was the work of a local man who had an obsession with her. Yet each lead ended in frustration, leaving detectives with more questions than answers. The horror of the Walker family murders didn't just devastate Osprey. It left a dark legacy. For lives, full of promise and innocence, were wiped out in a single night. Clifford, Christine, Jimmy, and Debbie never got justice. For decades, the case has haunted Florida law enforcement, becoming one of the state's most infamous unsolved crimes. To this day, the Walker murders remain a chilling reminder how evil can strike even in the most ordinary of places. Every year, as Christmas approaches, the story resurfaces. A ghost of a family silenced, a puzzle never solved. Was it the notorious killers Hickok and Smith, roaming free after slaughtering the Clutters? Was it someone closer, hiding in plain sight? Or was it a drifter who vanished into the night, taking the truth with them? The truth may never be known. All that remains is a memory of a family whose lives were stolen in the most unimaginable way, and a lingering hope that someday, somehow, their killer will finally be unmasked. Please subscribe for more true crime stories.